Hello, everyone. Sorry about the technical difficulties. I was just trying to set up the stream itself. But yeah, so this will be my first attempt. It's been maybe like a few months since I did a live video. So I will quickly go over the reaction to the article that was posted. In addition to that, to, have a performance, not a performance, but more of a public criticism, self-criticism, which I have done in the past. This is nothing new, as a reflection of the politics that I'm involved in, that I have to do self-criticism and also do public criticism when it's necessary. Yeah, before I start, just want to make sure everything is set up. Let's see here. We're live. We're live. We're live. We're live. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's start. Yeah, this video is meant to discuss the recent article that was posted on Hood Communist. Thank you very much to the Hood Communist, readers and everybody that has read the article and shared it. I've definitely gotten a lot of positive feedback, and I appreciate it. The article itself was, I have been trying to push it out. Just there's a lot of distraction, and I haven't had time to push it out. But yeah, it's a quick article to just make the connection, examining the connection between the Bolivia and Eritrea and all these organizations who are tied to the State Department. Now, the positive feedback within the Eritrean community, it touches everybody within the Eritrean community. So you have people who are principal elements within PFDJ who, supported the article. In addition to that, you have elements within the opposition camp who also supported the article. So this is why it's very wide encompassing. It's pretty much inclusive of everybody. And I'm glad that people who are principal, who are Eritreans, have read the article. And you're able to examine the issue on yourself independently, research it yourself. Now, the article itself, it's factual. There's evidence. You can there's links there. You can investigate yourself. You don't have to believe me. And the whole point is to empower you to do the research yourself. These articles are there. You can research yourself. So let's start from there. I think the article itself, it's nothing new. I think everybody's aware that it's happened before, but it hasn't been connected to this level. And making that connection is important because this is a global struggle. This is what's happening the Eritrea is not unique. It's our struggle as far as being targeted by imperialism is clear, and it's connected to Bolivia as well. It's connected to what's happening to Cuba, what's happening to Venezuela, what's happening even in Hong Kong, even with China. So being a leftist, we have to make the connection and make sure that this is a global struggle, and we have a common element that is causing these issues within our state, within our community, within our spaces. And it's sources from the State Department in Washington, obviously the Imperial Corps. So I'm glad that people who read the article, and I appreciate all the comrades. In addition to that, I want to thank the member of HOA Pals for helping me edit the piece. Thank you very much. You know who you are. She's responsible for the article as well, for giving me the talking points and idea. So shout out to the member of HOA Pals. Thank you for helping me out. You know who you are. In addition to that, all the comrades in Canada, Europe, South America, for pushing this article. I appreciate it, for sharing it, making it more of just a global audience. I really appreciate all the principal comrades. The Twitter is a wonderful tool if it's used properly. I understand there's people who get tired of it because it becomes an echo chamber There are people who want to do harm, who are really not interested in having a conversation that can move things forward, basically. So Twitter itself can be a headache for in that aspect if you just are consumed by it. But on the other, it's like ever since I've been on Twitter, I have been connected with people since 2012. People from Syria, just around the world, just great comrades, and I have had the chance to connect with them offline as well. And Twitter is a wonderful tool for media, engaging with media personalities, getting information. You don't even need a TV, to be honest. Mainstream TV is not needed. You can just engage on Twitter and get direct information on what's happening on our country, up to date information, uncensored and just raw. Twitter is a wonderful place, and I appreciate all the comrades and the principal leftists within the Black left, the diaspora. Thank you very much for being principled and understanding the situation, and also reading the context of the article and engaging and understanding the issue within the Eritrean community as far as the politics. And I also want to thank the Eritrean community for being principled. It doesn't matter if you are who consider themselves part of PFJ or somebody who is anti-PFJ. That's fine. Your ability to read this article, because it doesn't take a pro-PFJ view. It does not take an anti-opposition view. It is meant to give critical views from a leftist angle that is more encompassing, that is more unified front line. So I appreciate all the Eritreans who are very principled and understand what's happening. I also appreciate all the Eritrean women who have engaged this conversation. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. But moving forward, this title I put out in this video is In Defense of Eritrean Leftist Commentary. I think that's the key point of this video, and it must be clear that the Eritrean leftist commentary. What is that? What do I mean by that? The Eritrean leftist commentary, it's unique that there is nothing like that. While criticizing the role of imperialism, the importance of criticizing neocolonialism, the Eritrean leftist commentary also lines it up with the criticism of the failure of Isaias Afwerki, the failure of PFJ. Now, saying these things, criticizing Isaias Afwerki, for some, it just upsets them. I get that, and I get that. Like, why are people emotionally attached to Isaias Afwerki, and their emotional attachment to Isaias Afwerki causes them to not understand the criticism is towards his politics, not this idea, this mythology that's been built about who Isaias Afwerki is. That is not the point here. The point is sober leftist criticism about the policy decision and the direction that we have had inside Eritrea under Isaias Afwerki. That is the whole point of the article. In addition to that, how imperialism plays a role in targeting Eritrea. So the Eritrean leftist commentary is meant to combine legitimate criticism of Washington foreign policy and targeting Eritrea and aggression and sponsoring all these destabilization acts over the years. In addition to that, examining the role of Isaias Afwerki for not reducing the harm that the Eritrean people have felt under his 18 years. You had 18 years with impossible power. He can do whatever he wants. He is the envy of Evo Morales, Hugo Chavez, even Maduro, because they're limited by constitutionalism. They're limited by this idea of the Constitution and an assembly. He didn't have that. They're limited in that aspect, but they're still pushing a system internally that is heading toward another stage of revolution, beyond bourgeois democracy. But they're highly evolved, and they're making efforts toward socialism. So under Isaias Afwerki, Eritrea hasn't had a chance to evolve. There's no assembly. There's no internal structure, organization. There's no sense of, hey, what is the legacy of EPLF? How can we continue the revolutionary momentum built up by EPLF? Under PFJ, there's no discussion about that. That's what's happening. So there's no efforts to revive the revolutionary nationalism. There's no effort to unify Eritrean people. The whole point of 18 years has been to defend Isaias Afwerki and try to tie it to an actual issue why Eritrea was targeted. It's not because of Isaias Afwerki. It's not because of him, because there's a real threat of the legacy of EPLF, the collectivism, the collective struggle of the Eritrean people. When it's unified, it can be a threat for, as an example, basically. If you imagine the idea of the Eritrean Revolution spreading in the Horn of Africa, it would cause a lot of problem for U.S. Washington foreign policy. That would cause a lot of problem if the success of the Eritrean Revolution is replicated in different ways, in different form, in Somalia, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Sudan. So that is always a threat. And we understand why Washington is very aggressive in its efforts to neutralize the socialist elements of the Eritrean Revolution. It's not about Isaias Afwerki. Isaias Afwerki, he's 75 years old. Next month in February, he'll be 75 years old. He's going to be gone. At the end of the day, these are the issue. The threats of the Eritrean Revolution is the problem here. Isaias Afwerki will be gone. There's a lot of issue that he has caused as a policy decision, but at the same time, we have to balance it out with the issue of how Washington has targeted Eritrea. So that is the defense of the Eritrean leftist commentary. Second point I wanted to talk about is this criticism toward Vanessa Tsehaye and OneDaySeyom. You know, as I mentioned in the article, these individuals that are, you know, tied to OneDaySeyom and Vanessa Tsehaye have pretty much doxed my information. They have been pretty much putting a lot of effort to monitor all the activities, social media activities, contacting people that I engage with on Twitter by making up misinformation that is not true. First of all, this individual that is key behind this is, associated with Vanessa Tsehaye. It's two individual, and one of them is the main leader, is Kecha Fitfit. Now, this individual lives in Canada. I never met her. She's 21 years old. This is something that's verified that people can search. So in addition to, after putting out political criticism of Vanessa Tsehaye, this individual has went to extreme to make up claims that I am misogynistic, sexist, sexually harassing Eritrean women, targeting Eritrean women, or extreme things that you would take it seriously. This is not something you play with, and you're playing with somebody live by saying that I'm targeting Eritrean women, I'm misogynistic, I'm sexist. This individual at the core responsible for this is Kecha Fitfit. This individual that is tied to Vanessa Tsehaye and OneDaySeyom, or Vanessa Tsehaye. So that it becomes an issue when you try to involve family members of mine and putting their name on YouTube, or trying to dox my private information and make threats about doing harm to, physically do harm to me and come to stuff like that. That's some serious stuff. I've never seen anything like this to the point of targeted harassment to this level. They're gone to the point of doxing my private information, pretty much spreading this idea that I am a sexist, misogynist, targeting Eritrean women, or saying that I have a history of targeting Eritrean women, which is not true. I think the criticism that I put out are blunt and critical of elements who are, associated with imperialism. That's my political line from the beginning. So they are trying to use this, as I mentioned in the article, to discredit leftist commentary. That's all I'm trying to say, is there are elements associated with these organizations who want to silence leftist criticism. So that is where this is coming from. And I pretty much respect all the comrades who have been engaged by this individual, or there was other individual who try to discredit and try to say that I'm misogynistic, sexist, or harassing Eritrean women, which is not true. This is not true. Like, I promise you, like, this individual is gone beyond Twitter to do something like this. This is, I am shocked by this, because this is, I'm starting to realize this individual has something going on. I don't know what I did to that individual. They're taking this very personal. You know what I'm saying? You're taking it way personal and go on beyond the political disagreement toward targeted harassment. You know what I'm saying? So I'm disengaging from commenting on OneDaySeyom, Vanessa Tsehaye, because at the end of the day, it is not worth it. And pretty much everything that had to be said about their ties is in the article. If anybody wants to reference the issue, why there's a problem there, everybody can reference the article. So in addition to that, I'm not on Twitter and being part of this organization, HOA Pals, to focus on individual. We're focusing on moving forward ideas, persuasions, and moving forward the conversation to the left. That's our effort within this organization. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to personally focus on one individual. I don't even know this person. I've never met Vanessa. I never met this person, or I think her name is Lydia. That's something that was posted on Twitter. I don't know this individual. I don't know them. They're younger than me. I'm not no way in their community. I've never engaged with them. I don't even know what this person's talking about, sexual harassment, or I attacked Eritrean women. Like, this is serious allegation. And this person is like, how can anybody, those individuals who just looked on and just like, yo, why were you personally putting out his public information? Nobody on that side said anything. That's violent. I never publicized Vanessa Tsehaye public address. I've never went over to their their organization trying to do harm and trying to penetrate, sabotage their efforts. I've never did that. All I did was tweet. But they went overboard, putting out my partner's name, putting out my family name. In addition to that, putting out my private information name. That is gone to the extreme, and it shows the character and their value. Like, why did you go this far? That's not necessary. So the reason why I will no longer talk about these Vanessa Tsehaye and OneDaySeyom is because what else is there to say? The issue's there. The information is there. Now it's for Eritrean people, to all of the people online who are within that organization, to understand this is more of a criticism of our ties. So let's just, beyond that, let's just make it clear. In addition to that, there are members within OneDaySeyom who are genuine and sincere about the issue of freeing Tsehaye, which I agree. I think Tsehaye should be free. In addition to that, there are Eritreans within the organization who have sincere, efforts toward helping the Eritrean refugees in Libya. I'm not opposing that. You are coming from a sincere point of view. You want to help your people. I'm not opposing that. If you feel like this is an organization for you, go ahead. Nobody's going to stop you. Like, if you want to continue to help the Eritrean people, Eritrean refugee, and that's your focus, that's fine. What I'm trying to say is the political line is, let's not use the Eritrean refugee and use Tsehaye to, excuse making connection to imperialism and State Department. No, what I'm trying to say is this issue should be in the hands of the Eritrean people, within the Eritrean people, within the Eritrean community. We don't need to be tied to the State Department. We don't need to be tied towards elements who want to harm the Eritrean state. That is the point. Criticize Isaias Afwerki. I don't really care. You want to insult him? That's your, go ahead, do that. That is your personal take, and that's important. I respect that. But the whole point of the article is not to stop any Eritrean from engaging and helping the Eritrean refugees, speaking about the freeing Tsehaye, any other issues. That is not the issue here. That's, if anybody feels that's the case, that you can misunderstand me. That's not what's happening. I'm just trying to point out the issue of, regardless of the internal problems, we should not be using real internal problems toward associating ourselves or externalizing it and giving it off to the State Department, elements that will do us harm in the long run, or anybody that will harm the state. That is the line that I'm trying to push, the Eritrean leftist line. That is the correct line to go to. That's the principal line, is do not harm the state. At the end of the day, all criticism of Isaias are legitimate. And this is an internal conversation within Eritreans, within the Eritrean community, between Eritreans, And that is important to be understood. So if you're an Eritrean, most of these guys, most of them are young, Gen Z, even some of them are in high school within OneDaySeyom. I think they're pulled into something that it's very complicated, and they're pulled in really fast into something that they are not understanding. Especially, it's pretty much similar to those young people who joined YPFJ, not understanding the Eritrean politics and the history. It's hard to disengage once you find out, I didn't sign up for this. I just want to help my people. That's the same thing. There's Eritreans and YPFJ who really just want to help their community, who are just pulled into something that has nothing to do with their passion and their support and love of their people. The same with OneDaySeyom. There are people within OneDaySeyom who want to help their people, who really are sincere. They're not the enemy. They're not my enemy. They're not the enemy of the Eritrean leftist. No, we're not trying to make you an enemy. We're just trying to warn you about this association and the links. You must help your people. You must unify your people. But at the end of the day, views like this, the Eritrean leftist commentary, it is not an attack on you. It is more to examine the issue from an ideological persuasion, an ideological line. So whenever we give these criticism toward Vanessa Tsehaye, I'm sorry, that it is not an attack on you personally. You must view it as, hey, there's something. Why is there ties to Bolivia? What does that have to do with our country? Why is there ties with State Department elements? Why is this organization being tied to this? That's all we're trying to do. So continue to do what you must do for your people. If you feel this is the organization for you, but at the end of the day, just read the article and just think about it, sleep on it, and just consider the consequence. Now, Vanessa Tsehaye and this individual lady, you're not my enemy, okay? I think this criticism that I put out are more focused on a ideological issue. If the issues in the commentary that, felt that was, harmful to you, that is not the intention. I was not trying to harm anybody or do anything like that. But your points about me targeting Eritrean women and sexually harassing them when I never met you, making outlandish comments that I am like homophobic when I don't know what is that coming from. This is like you're weaponizing real issues about men who do these things, who are invested in patriarchy, invested in homophobia. That's real issue, and you're trying to use that against somebody you politically disagree with. That's dishonest. I don't know how do you you have a sense of political integrity to do that, and in the long term, that's not going to look good as far as credibility, your ethics and value. How do you sleep at night when you make up things like this and try to tarnish somebody's name by saying they're misogynist, sexist, and targeting Eritrean women? This is dangerous. This is dishonest. This is very dark. Now, I take that seriously. I think it was quite shocking when individual associated with this person, I don't know if it's Lydia, I don't know if it's Vanessa, who left comments saying my partner name. That's when I was like, yo, this individual's gone too wild here. This is too extreme, For you to take it to that level, I've been active with the Eritrean politics. I've never seen anybody take it to this level of bringing in my family members who have nothing to do with this, targeting my Eritrean family members who have nothing to do with this. Why are you doing this? This is not necessary. So that's why I'm disengaging from focusing on Vanessa Tsehaye and OneDaySeyom, recognizing that everything that was stated in the article has already been, it's already there. It's public. People can read it. That's it. We have a bigger issue than just Vanessa Tsehaye. She's just one individual, one organization, part of a bigger, story that is targeting Eritrea. So, at the same time, the whole point about this video is, in defense of the Eritrean leftist commentary, While I would acknowledge that I will no longer talk about or even tweet about because it's not necessary. It's like beating a dead horse. It's already okay. What else is there? This is evidence. The evidence is there. Moving forward, there's nothing else to say. Now, the other Eritreans can figure out what's the other problems. There's a lot of other problems. That's for them to figure out. But as far as more commentary is not necessary, and this is meant to move things along and to make sure that people within our community, we push toward a unified front. You know what I'm saying? I understand that these elements associated with Vanessa Tsehaye, even she stated on her Twitter account saying that she's not for unifying with the Eritrean people, or some Eritreans. She's not for unity, which is contradictory to the role of unifying the Eritrean people, because our founding leaders, such as Abraham Sultan, Waldab, and Awad, always focus on the point about unity. And it echoes what Kwame Ture said about united frontline. You need to have all segment of the society united. And that's not what we're about. We don't want to cause political fragmentation in the diaspora. Our solution as Eritrean leftists is to provide a united frontline. We're not trying to antagonize anybody who is a very principal Eritrean within PFJ, who are just stuck within PFJ. And also, we're not trying to antagonize who are Eritrean principal Eritreans within the opposition. That's not the whole point. If you are principal, you understand criticism, you are sincere, you are somebody of value, you can privately engage. I privately engage with somebody who is on the other side, who is he's an academic, but he's on the opposite side. I can have a civilized discussion with this individual and have these discussion about the Eritrean politics. And I even talked to him about what was happening with this individual who doxed my private information. And he condemned it, because that's not what we were about as Eritreans. We don't go around putting out private information of each other. That's not what we're about. So the whole point is, it's going to be a challenge, because at the end of the day, the Eritrean leftist commentary, you provide analysis, counterpoints that makes people uncomfortable. Revealing the truth sometimes is ugly, and some people are emotional. They don't want to hear it. That's the case because, as you guys seen, I don't know if everybody who is aware, Red Fisher, who is a Twitter account that is associated with Simon, the article was the reaction from him to the article is in reaction to small criticism about Isaias Afwerki, right? How he's failing the Eritrean people, which is true. Anybody can can reflect on it. Go back to Eritrea and see what's happening. So the article itself was not hyperly focused on Isaias. It was focused on the connection of the role of imperialism, the tentacles, the configuration, its role in it within the Eritrean diaspora, right? Now, these individuals that are really pro-hardcore Isaiasists, and Simon, Alias, Rahel, all these guys are pro-Isaias. I've engaged with them for a long time, and I'm not unprincipled to say that sometimes they do have commentary that that makes sense, but other times after 2018, they have gone to the extreme of just being unprincipled in regards to development in Ethiopia, in regards to Isaias Afwerki and his position and the multinational federalism, just global views that are just, right wing, not even saying anything about the anti-China viewpoints that are expressed by Testify News, Emmanuel, all these guys. They haven't been silent. They're unprincipled. They even fan those anti-China views. So the pro-PFJ, quote-unquote, leftists like Simon, Rahel, and Alias are violently unprincipled. And their reaction to the article is to look at like a small criticism about the failure of Isaias, rather than like examine this is an attack on the Eritrean state. It is an attack on the Eritrean revolution. This whole campaign is all efforts, and these dark elements are trying to attack the socialist roots of the Eritrean revolution, the Eritrean state, and the Eritrean revolutionary nationalism. So what did Simon do from that article? He reacted in defense of Isaias Afwerki. So these PFJ people like Simon, Rahel, Alias, they're there to defend Isaias Afwerki, not the Eritrean revolution, not the Eritrean state, not the people. So we're seeing these reaction of with those hardliners elements within PFJ who are on principle, who use leftist rhetoric to cover up the problems of the criticism that we put out as Eritrean leftists. They try to deflect it in a very dishonest way too. So this article that was put out, it was trying to highlight the problem of imperialism trying to target Eritrea, but these elements who are hardcore Isaiasists, pro-Isaias, responded by happily focusing on the issue of the commentary on Isaias. This whole article was in defense of the Eritrean revolution, Eritrean state, and the Eritrean people. So as Eritrean leftists, we have to pretty much defend our position from the hardliners within PFJ, such as Simon, Rahel, and Alias, and the others as well. So while we believe in a united front line and uniting the Eritrean people, we have to be principled and pointing out the problems within PFJ, the problems within the opposition, while trying to unify all Eritreans. That's the ultimate goal of the Eritrean leftist commentary. The ultimate goal is to unite, to push people within the opposition, within the nationalist spaces, to come to one table. That's the ultimate goal under the banner of respecting the Eritrean revolution, the banner of respecting the Eritrean state, the banner of respecting the Eritrean revolutionary nationalism. That's what we're trying to push. That's the ultimate goal of unifying the Eritrean people, by telling the truth about the problems of Isaias Afwerki, and also telling the truth about the elements who are tied to imperialist hands. So I would no longer be engaged and focusing on OneDaySeyom. Vanessa, it's not worth it. I have no issue with them. I have no personal, like, this person, Lydia, she's gone to the extreme. Sometimes I wonder if some people are like, she's really young. Like, for example, why would they go to this length of doing this? You know, this is the problem of not having, being connected to your community offline, meaning you have to have elders to guide you. Like, you can't do this. This is very harmful. Somebody needs to, engage with her and say, this is a problem. You cannot be doxing people private information, or putting out views you want to target it. Deportation of Eritreans who you politically disagree with. Put out views listing all the individuals' names in each city that you want to target because of the political differences. Putting out information trying to bring harm as far as like physically beat down Eritreans who you physically you have a problem with, and pretty much scuff at the idea of Eritrean unity. That's not what we're about. So moving forward, it's not necessary. I'm disengaged from this commentary on OneDaySeyom is pretty much redundant. So that's the end of that. It's not necessary. The commentary is there. Everybody can read it. So another thing I want to talk about is, sorry, I'm just going on 34 minutes. Another thing I want to talk about is the issue of how Ethiopian people are engaged with the Eritrean internal matters. Now, there's an individual that is tied to OneDaySeyom named Michael, who is tied with Lydia. And in addition to that, they are the main two main people behind all these campaign to send to direct messages to black leftist big followers saying that this guy is a sexist, misogynist. With what are you talking? I've never met these people. They're just online accounts. Making strong allegation like this to defame and discredit my account and my commentary. So this individual, Michael, is a guy that's associated with OneDaySeyom, who is Ethiopian. Now, he's from this community that is what I would call Abyssinian who have this contempt for the Eritrean nationalism and Eritrean revolution, obviously for obvious reasons. So he's tied to that, and he's gone beyond of what an Ethiopian individual is supposed to go to, of wanting to kill Eritrean individuals who are officials and stuff like that. That has not been checked. In addition to that, just gone beyond of an Ethiopian person, like just because you stand behind these position of personality online of being a radical liberal, does not give you the right to go beyond and get involved yourself within Eritrean politics. That's just, you're causing more issue here. This is an internal matters that needs to be discussed within the Eritreans, just like the internal matter that's happening in Ethiopia. I might have public opinion about the Oromo struggle and all this and all that, but at the end of the day, this is something that the Ethiopian people have to solve on their own. I cannot take a hardline stand, this or that. I can just put out my views. But this individual's gone beyond that. And he's one of the individuals that's responsible for doxing my information. You know what I'm saying? So all this is documented in his archive. I have not done anything to this individual. I have not spoken to it. He's accusing me being homophobic because there's this book that he recommended by Carter that, you know, he was originally part of our HOA Pals group. He recommended this book that by a liberal individual, Carter's. She's associated with Elizabeth Warren. She wrote a book about queer struggle, right? Now, I said this person and it's her association with Elizabeth Warren is a problem, and we shouldn't really read this book. We had like a list. Everything was well made. We had Marxist, queer Marxist books to engage in and further our, political education. So me saying that this is a bad book, we should be reading the Marxist, radical books that are out there by queer women, queer women and men, that I'm homophobic when I just said that this individual is tied to Elizabeth Warren. We don't need that. If you're caping for the establishment within the Democrat Party and you're a liberal, I don't want to read your book. That's not homophobic. I don't want to read your book because you're tied to Elizabeth Warren. I'm sorry, that has nothing to do with evolving our politics within a Pan-African lens, within a Black radical tradition lens, within an anti-imperialist lens. I don't really want to read a book from somebody that is organizing with Elizabeth Warren. I don't. So that's not homophobic. So this individual named Michael, associated with Lydia Kitchafitfit, are the main two people who are on a campaign to send direct messages to individuals who have Black followers. In addition to that, they monitor everything I do on Twitter, who I liked, who I'm talking to, who am I talking to right now. It's just, I've never seen these two individuals obsess about what I'm doing online. It's just the strangest thing ever. So, like I mentioned, they are tied to OneDaySeyom. So it just goes to show you the length that people will go to is unnecessary. You don't have to go this far. If you have disagreement, just disagree and move on. You don't have to obsess about wanting to penetrate our organization. Create your own organization. Stay over there. There's no issue there. You can create your own organization. So that's it. We're disengaged from this. It's not worth it. Everything that was stated in the article is stated. I mean, what else can be said? That's all that can be said. Now, for others who want to investigate and want to have articles, go ahead. That's your choice. But everything that has been stated, I've been trying to say for years now, for this year, since last year, about the role of how she supported Bolivia coup, the role of the Human Rights Foundation, the role of how she's connected to the state, how she's pro-State Department. All that that's the evidence that I put out. But I've been attacked because I point this out. And anybody who is following me since 2012, you have to hear me out. This individual, Kitchafitfit, is gone to the extreme. Like I'm innocent. This individual has gone to the extreme to taint my account. It's wrong. It's wrong. And the individuals that are, were impacted by this, I've been in contact with them. because they don't understand the complex reality of how this started. They were just in a position and they didn't know what to do. So they just felt like they had to stay out of it. And that's understandable, but I was still able to engage with them. So yeah, that was a problem with the last few months. I didn't say anything publicly until now that this individual doxed my private information, has been targeted me and trying to say I'm misogynistic, sexually harassing them, homophobic, which I'm not. I'm not done anything like that. Anybody that's been following me can understand that's what's happening. Anybody who's sincere about their politics, anybody who has integrity, who has value, and investigative journalist can understand I'm being targeted here. I haven't done anything to these people. I've never met them. They're targeting my family members. They're targeting, they're giving out my address. It's gone to the extreme. I don't even know you. You know, this is ridiculous. And anybody that's been following me for years, you know this. You know the energy that I put out. I'm not sexist. I'm not misogynist. I'm not homophobic. I haven't did anything wrong here. So let's go with that. Another thing I want to, before I leave, it's been 40 minutes. Before I leave, I think the Eritrean leftist view, it's unique. There's nothing like it. There's nothing, views that are put out, examining the issue internally. There's nothing like that. You have one side that is pro PFJ, and they don't talk about anything else but Isaias is right, Isaias is right, Isaias is right, Isaias is right. And within the opposition element, Eritrea is hell. Everything is just like Isaiah's fault. It just doesn't work. We were trying to move forward beyond these limited talking points. We're trying to look at the whole view of what is the cause, what is the root cause of everything. And we have to be examining everything in a balanced way. That is the Eritrean leftist way. So we're not confident, we're not cocky, but we are using the scientific tool of, the Black radical tradition, Pan-Africanism, anti-imperialist struggle in the global South. We're using their tool, the scientific approach, scientific socialism. We're trying to use that, analyze our situation, and empower our people. So we cannot lie and tell you this individual is this and that, and then we have to be truthful. And that's the whole point about the Eritrean leftist commentary. It's going to make people uncomfortable who are super into Isaias Afwerki, and it's going to make people uncomfortable who are within the opposition, who have ties to State Department, who have ties to different NGOs, who have ties to TPLF. It's going to make them uncomfortable. Okay, so lastly, before I go, like I mentioned, the individual that I mentioned, Michael, the Ethiopian guy, who's very extreme in his views and it's very disturbing. So, what is the role of the Ethiopians? It's okay to have commentary and your views about the Eritrean internal issue, but to associate yourself with elements who want to do harm against the Eritrean state or have these aggressive hardline stance about the internal matters within Eritrea, you're going to cause an issue. You should be more a true neutral voice that can see both sides of the argument. Lastly, it must be clear that the elements that are associated with the OneDaySeyom, Vanessa, who are pretty much in her camp, are Abyssinians who really have this vested, like they deeply have issue with the Eritrean nationalism, Eritrean revolution, the idea that Eritrea should not exist. So there's two wings, obviously the pro-TPLF wing who are associated with her, and also the extremely Amharu elements who are there. So these are the two Abyssinian elements who are, support Vanessa. The extreme Amharu and nationalist and the extreme TPLF Tigrawi who have a deep issue with the Eritrean state and want to weaken it or pretty much destroy it. So that's why they are warming up to her whenever there is an attack on the Eritrean leftists. So the PFDJ, the pro-State Department elements, the Abyssinian elements, whether they're TPLF or the Amhara nationalists, all have an issue with the Eritrean leftist commentary. because it is the most potent, it is the most historical, and it pretty much presenting historical context, is pretty much focused on theories. It's the most principled. So you have the pro State Department Eritreans, you have the Abyssinian elements, whether they're from the TPLF side or the Amharo nationalist, and you combine the PFJ within, who are hardliners, who support Isaias, who are unprincipled, don't have no value. These are all combined. You have an issue on social media who haven't pretty much a common goal to silence Eritrean leftist views. That's why you saw Simon echo, like, all these guys are targeting Eritrean leftist commentary because we are not attached to Isaias. We're not attached to the pro State Department element. We're not attached to a pretty much problematic view. We're pretty much advancing ideas and theories that can unify our Eritrean people and also the region. We believe in Pan-Africanism. We believe in the Black radical tradition. We believe in anti-imperialism. So all these elements on social media, the pro-Isaias people, the pro-Melech, pro-Johannes people, the pro-State Department, all are targeting Eritrean leftists. They have an interest in silencing us, targeting us, harassing us, making sure that we're out of here. But that's not happening. So the Eritrean leftists are here to stay. I just want to thank the HOA pals. I'm very happy to be part of an organization that is women-led, multi-generational, and pretty much queer welcoming. And it's very progressive because there's no organization for the Horn of Africa community that can pretty much pull everybody, whether you're Ethiopian, Somali, from Djibouti, Sudan, South Sudan, Uganda, Kenya. You come in through theories, understanding the whole point of how the role of imperialism, neo-colonialism, how we are tied together, and how we can push Pan-Africanism and many things. So HOA Pals is a unique organization. So, we're trying to present more ideas, more panels, more discussion to push the conversation to the left. So before I leave, please understand, Vanessa Tsehaye and Gachafit, all these guys, I'm disengaged. You guys are just, you took it to the extreme of revealing my private information, targeting my urgent family members. That's not needed. I'm done. There's no need for this. It's over. And anybody that wants to show this video to them, let them show it. But I'm done. We're going to focus on spreading our ideas, persuasion, being principled, and educating our community and unifying our community. So if you're Eritrean, if you feel like OneDaySeyom is for you, that's fine. I'm not going to stop you. I'm not going to put out your private information like the individual has done to me. I'm not going to go try to harass OneDaySeyom, their content, or try to disturb their meetings, try to leave out commentary on YouTube to destroy the perception about it. No, we don't even do that. We never did that. They're doing that to us. They're targeting us. They're sending members or associates to target our organization, to spy on us, to monitor our activities, to monitor our social media. That's what's been happening. We've been targeted, and the members of the organization have nothing to do with it, and they're being blocked on social media by this individual. They're being targeted. They've been harassed for no reason. We're just putting out critical view that, hey, if you have ties to imperialism, then it must be pointed out. That's a problem. You're causing harm. So we're being targeted for that. When we never reveal your address, we never reveal who you are, or you never reveal to the extent of trying to target you in a harmful way, that's what's happening to us. This has to stop. The members of the organization have nothing to do with this. So this is it. We have a bigger issue. We're moving forward. We have to focus on issues that matter to our community, our region, and that's it. So that's the end of this chapter. If we're not going to respond to the issue, and if anything happens, we're going to pretty much publicize it, but that's it. We're done with this thing. That's all. Thank you very much. Hopefully my rambling helped a little bit and clarify anything, but yeah, this is pretty much a video to defend the Eritrean leftist commentary from the pro-State Department elements, the hardliner within PFDJ, the pro-Isaias hardcore elements within PFDJ who want to do damage, who want to discredit the Eritrean leftists, and the hardcore pro-Melech and pro-Johannes Abyssinians who want to discredit the Eritrean leftist commentary. All of them are tied together. So I appreciate all the Eritreans who are principled, or who are pretty much, whether you're engaged internally within PFJ or you are from the opposition. No Eritreans are enemy. We are unified. No Eritreans are enemy. We are only trying to push out